people who just stay on the mate's sofa every now and again, going from house to house, they're classed as homeless. You know, with the introduction of the bedroom tax, people are getting evicted from the council properties. And, you know, the council properties are there for the most vulnerable in society, the ones who've got the less amount of money, the less amount of social standing. If they lose the house, well, they've already been told by the councils that they're not worthy, and by the government, they're not worthy of support. So they fall into the trap then of becoming homeless. It's just an absolute nightmare. You know, there's no joined up thinking. There's no joined up thinking. And this is why I love the charity that I support, is because we work directly with the people on the front line. You know, it's not just some massive organisation that puts millions into, you know, marketing or CEOs or anything like that. We work with the micro charities that are actually making a real difference on the front line, making a, you know, and it's humbling to see the work that they do. You know, they're out on the street every night helping the homeless. I've been out with them myself, and it's just, you know, it's humbling. You know, and over the last few years, my focus has been on the smaller charities, because they're the ones who get it. They're the ones who haven't lost touch with reality. And unfortunately, there's too many bigger charities that are losing touch with reality or looking in completely the wrong place for solutions. So this is why I love working with the smaller charities, because they just understand exactly what's happening on the front line, and it's keeping it real by being human to them. You know, yeah, so it's very, very easy to answer your first question. It's very easy to fall into that trap. Nobody's safe.
Yeah. So I think the most alarming thing that I took from what you said there was that we're all like just a couple of paychecks away from potential homelessness. All it takes is for a job to disappear, a marriage to break down, or whatever, and bam, suddenly you've got nowhere to go. Well, what can we do if we find ourselves, if someone found themselves in that position? What can they do?
The first port of call should always be the council. If you're registered as homeless, then you need to go to the council, and they, I say, are obliged to house you. They're obliged to put you in somewhere safe temporarily, with a view to finding you a home. But the housing stock is so minuscule now. You know, councils are working with other councils right across the UK, and so families are being broken up completely by being put to the other side of the country because they've got housing stock in Essex rather than Manchester. And so people are just being bounded around the country. And once they're onto another council, then it's their council's problem, not our council's. So, yeah, the housing and the council are the first port of call where people need to go. But then again, there's a lot of bureaucracy when it comes to that. You know, if, say, for example, if you had a dodgy landlord who was hammering you, you know, for extortionate rent or not doing the things that they're legally obliged to do, like get rid of damp and mould and all that sort of stuff. If you make yourself homeless, then the council's not obliged to rehouse you. You know, so it's little things like that where people find themselves homeless because they can't take any more, but because they've made themselves homeless, they've got no safety net. You know, so it's just knowing these little things that will help in the long term. But if you're in the middle of a house where it's got damp and you got a little child, or even if you're just on your own and it's got damp and mold and the landlord's being quite a bit of a rogue, for your own sanity and your own mental health, you want to get out of there. And people are leaving thinking, right, okay, the council will help. But they say, well, no, you made yourself homeless. It's just a bizarre system where, you know, listening skills are not high on the agenda. And it's, you know, the whole system, you know, I'm not even going to get into politics, but the bedroom tax is the one that's really helps food banks rise in the popularity and also evictions. You know, I don't know the exact figures, but the amount of evictions that are happening for people who are being disabled as well, because you've got the old PIPs and DLA situation where, it was found out by a Freedom of Information request that for PIPs and DLA, there was a target of 80% of appeals being rejected by the DWP. Now that, if you actually sat and thought about that in a dark room, you'd be sobbing your heart out for a long time. It's just ludicrous. And so these people who are vulnerable in society, who the government are there to help when times are tough. That's what I've always believed government to be for and benefits to be for, is, when you've been working hard or whatever it may be, when you need that little bit of help, that's what the benefit system is for, or the government are there to help you. Once you've taken that away, what have people got? The most vulnerable in society now are in the most precarious and most hostile situations. And it's heartbreaking. In the last year alone, I've done, I think it's 52 DLA and ESA appeals for people, free of charge again, and I've won every single one. And that's not because I'm some genius, it's because on the form it says, perfect bill of health, yet they're having chemotherapy or radiotherapy for cancer. That's not me being a genius winning this appeal. That's me stating the obvious and stating the fact and just cutting dead the lies. Yeah. But these people then obviously they can't pay the bill, can't pay the rent. What happens? And there's the people that are on the street now, the mental health issues before they even get on the street it's heartbreaking, and more needs to be done. And until the day I sort of die, hopefully will be a long time, I won't stop shouting about it, because there's a lot of injustices out there at the moment. I don't want to get political, but just in general, just people caring. There's a lot of injustice. You can't have an opinion without being called snowflake. You know what I mean? And if you are sensitive, you have got mental health issues, having that attack on you, it makes you feel worse, and therefore you go away from society. And when you need the help, because you're so introverted, you don't reach out for that help, and you just suffer. I could go on, Keith. I could go on, but no. This is why I do it. It's too many injustices.
Yeah. I thought a question that comes to mind is, aside from donating to charities or working with charities, which we'll come on to in a moment, what is there that the average person can do to help with these sorts of situations?
I think Facebook is a wash. Social media is a wash with, oh, look at me, how great am I? I've just bought a coffee for the homeless chap. And then it's forgotten about. I don't want people to forget about it. I don't want them obviously to live their life thinking, oh, well, that's awful all the time. But I think there's a lot of, that's my responsibility done now. I've gone past somebody. I put it on social media that I've done my bit. You know what I mean? And we need more than that. These people just want to feel human. If you can imagine, if you've ever been back to your old primary school and sat on those small chairs and the teacher's looking at you, you feel so small and inadequate just being in that environment. So how you must feel when you've, got the same clothes that you've had on for several months, your bones in a lot of pain, and, your mental health, looking up at people just walking past or taking selfies. It's degrading. It's degrading. We just, I've spoke to so many over the years, and all they want is to feel human. And just by talking to them, asking what do they need, what do they want, how did they get into that situation? Just that 5-10 minutes will have made them feel more human than dropping them a sandwich. You know what I mean? Because I can guarantee they'll go through the whole day and they will get the sandwich or they'll get the coffee. But what they won't get a lot of is interaction. And that's all they want. Obviously you've got to, weigh it up if they're, high on drugs or alcohol and what have you, that's fair enough. But if they're just sat there looking, a little bit lost, it takes 5-10 minutes out of our busy days just to say, how are you, mate? Talk. And I've had some incredible, humbling conversations with homeless people where you're thinking, yeah, and this is why I say we're only one paycheck away, because there's some horrific stories where you're thinking, on the face of it, you had it made. You had, your 2.4 children, your cars, your house and your marriage and everything else. And now you're looking at an absolute state on the floor. You know what I mean? It's all done within the space of a couple of days. So talk to people. They're not aliens. They're not criminals. They're not to be feared, or, they're not dangerous people. They're human beings. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're all the same energy. Don't walk past, say hi. And that's what I do. And even my boys, my 7-year-old boy came into me the other week, and I was on the phone. I said, Dad, you've got to come. I'm in Knutsford, which is an affluent area, as you say. And he said, Dad, you got to come. He said, there's a guy who's asleep, who's homeless, just down the road by the shops. So I said, right. And then he said, I wanted you to come, he said, because Mummy's not experienced homelessness. And so I wanted you to come because I know you could help him. I thought that was quite humbling, this 7-year-old, saying that. And I'm quite open. I'm genuinely open with my story with my boys, because they need to have empathy. They need to understand, and they're creating themselves a beautiful legacy by helping others in the class and what have you. And so I went over to this guy, and it was amazing that my 7-year-old and my 12-year-old were leading the conversations. And they was asking, is there anything you need? Is there any way you need to go? And they actually offered him a lift to the train station on my behalf. I said, my dad will take you to the train station if you need it. My dad, and I'm blown away. I'm blown away. But they were saying all the right things. And in the end, he said, no, I'm okay. I'll just take a walk and I'll go to wherever. But it was just beautiful to see that my boys were actually leading the conversation and engaging with this guy. And I asked him at the end, I said, did you feel nervous? I said, no, he's just a human being. He's just a person. Just happens to be down in his luck. Job done. And if I could create that with adults, the world would be a lot better place. So, homelessness would be eradicated a lot quicker if we just had empathy and understanding and, put ourselves in their shoes. There's my song again. Walk a mile in my shoes. There's my song. Yeah. I've got to get right, Anna. It's my anthem.
So CEO Sleepover, this thing you're doing on the 15th of October. Tell us a little bit about it. What does it involve? What will you be doing? Where will you be doing it?
Okay, so we meet at Lancashire Cricket Club, Old Trafford. I believe it starts at 8 o'clock. And last year we had Manchester United's foundation come in, and they did a bit with the choir, which was really nice. And then there was presentations from the charities to explain where the money's going to be going to, and to thank, and for us to mingle and network with the charities and understand a bit more of why we're raising the money. Then we get given a hot meal, which is nice. A little bit more mingling for an hour or so, and then we're told to bugger off outside. And so all the doors are locked. We go out into the grounds, and we have our cardboard box or sleeping bag, whichever we bring. Last year, because of the danger with Storm Doris, they made us sleep in the stands rather than an actual pitch, because obviously chairs were flying everywhere. You didn't want to be But that was even worse because the wind was getting in through the stands and right through you.